Hello, my dreamers. Welcome back to Lucidity and Beyond, where we dive into the world of lucid dreaming, out of body experiences, and beyond. It has been a while, my friends. Yes, it has. I'm back for the second time on this podcast, and this time we're here to stay, okay? Because we're redoing things for this new year. I started this podcast last year, in the midst of starting like 12 other projects. And through doing that, I learned that perhaps that isn't sustainable. Perhaps that will leave me feeling completely physically exhausted so that I can't really put much energy toward the things that I truly consider a priority or things that I truly consider a necessity for myself or whatever it may be. If you relate to this, if you constantly feel like you need to be doing more, you need to keep trying harder, you need to be working harder, I want to let you know that you're doing more than enough. You are doing more than enough. And frankly, you're doing the best that you can with the level of consciousness you're at and with the resources that you have. And I think that's all that we can do is our best, right? And so maybe we're learning a similar experience this past year to be more gentle with yourself, to really look at your priorities and what is essential and maybe what is just something you want to dabble in or explore more, right? Taking more time to rest when you know you've reached your point, whether that is you've reached mental exhaustion, physical exhaustion, emotional exhaustion, whatever that is, learning to recognize the signs that you are at your limit and that you need to disconnect for a little bit, maybe prioritize you first, maybe do something fun that you've been thinking about doing for a long time but haven't had the time or the energy to do. So let's restart together, right? Let's restart this year in a way where it is not only infused with our intentions for the upcoming year, but the commitments to ourselves that matter. Really revisit this last year. And this is what I like to do at the beginning of each year. Like as the year is ending, as the year is beginning, I look back on the last year and I look at what I spent my time doing that didn't support me or serve me at all. The biggest lessons that I learned this past year. And what did I do actually that did serve me, that did energize me? Where did I not keep my commitments to myself? And what did I learn through this experience? I find it so helpful because, like, time, we're not going to get into time, guys. We need a whole episode for that. But time truly collapses faster than we can even realize it. And we don't realize all of the work, all of the effort, all of the amazing things that we did unless we take some time to look back and walk ourselves through the year. There's this book called The Gap and the Gain that really, really helped me. And most humans live in the gap, which is looking forwards at where you are currently and where you want to be and all of the things that you haven't accomplished to get there and all of the space between you and where you think that you're supposed to be. And this puts us in this like lack mindset, which constantly makes us feel like we're not doing enough. We constantly need to keep grinding. We constantly need to keep moving. And what's interesting about being in the gap is even when you do reach an accomplishment, you're so focused on the gap and the next goal that you don't even acknowledge the achievement, the milestone that you made. And living this way will cause us to live unconsciously around all of our accomplishments, all of the effort, all of the enoughness that we already are. And by shifting from the gap to the gain, it looks like, from looking forward at everything that's in between where you want to be. It's going from that to looking backwards and looking at where you've been and all that you've gained to get to this point, because that's where it counts. That's where you've actually been. That's where the work has been. And that's where you can instantly be able to celebrate yourself, regardless of where you think you're supposed to be, where you think, whatever you think is supposed to be happening by now. It completely erases all of that. And it acknowledges all of the work and the effort and the circumstances that you have gone through to get to this point now. And it automatically fills your cup back up, because spending so much time in the gap, you're always going to feel like there's a gap in between you and like where you're supposed to be. It creates a big worthiness issue, really. And in every area of your life that you notice yourself looking through the gap lens, I want to challenge you to look at the opposite perspective of that and to start practicing looking at the gain of that exact situation or that exact circumstance. And what you're doing is you're literally reprogramming your brain to see the world differently and to see your accomplishments differently. And there's something super cool that we all have. It's this subconscious filter called the reticular activating system. And it basically controls how we see reality. So, as you're listening to this, if I tell you right now to look around your environment and to notice the color blue, looking around, noticing all the blue standing out, it's not that all of a sudden there's more blue in your environment, okay? It's because that filter was programmed to look for blue. And this filter is always going. And it's not just with like physical things in your environment that you can play with to really practice this, but it is always set to subconsciously what you expect to experience or what you expect to see. And so if you're constantly looking at where you're not doing good enough, the subconscious has no bias at all. It just does exactly what it's told. And when we're used to looking through that lens, that's why we see more of that. It's because we're making ourselves see something that really isn't the way that we're looking at it. Same with when we're looking at our flaws. Like maybe you spend a few minutes looking at things that you consider a flaw, and then throughout the entire day, maybe you dropped something, or maybe this happened, and then these are just normal experiences, but you're going to credit each one of those things to being because you have these flaws or whatever it may be. That filter causes us to give like meanings to what we're seeing. And this just shows you that if you've been feeling like you're not enough or you're not doing enough, or, oh, it's a new year, like why does it even matter? I want you to practice looking back at the gain just for the rest of the day, even looking back at all of the things, and it could be for 2024. It could just be at the end of your day, looking back at all the gains that you experienced through that day. And what you're doing is you're literally switching the lens that you see reality through. And it will feel like you're fighting against your own mind at first, because it's truly this unconscious part of yourself fighting with this conscious part of yourself that wants to change how you're thinking and feeling about yourself or situations that you find yourself in. But it does get easier, and you really do start to feel those positive feelings coming through the new thoughts that you practice, especially when you practice seeing the opposite side of the coin. Practice that anytime you notice your mind going to the gap. Practice shifting it to the gain and leaving it on the gain. And naturally, when you run into situations, the gain will start to present itself as an option without you having to search for it. Super, super interesting. So I just want you to know that you are so loved. You are doing more than enough. And chances are you just aren't seeing all of the incredible things that make you incredible. And so making that a little game can really shift how you see things. And another little fun way to use this reticular activating system is to choose to see a specific object out in the world. Now, for me, my object for years has been a pink elephant. I remember the time that I came up with this, and I wanted to prove to myself that my thoughts do matter and that what I expect or assume to be true does affect my experience. And so I came up with a very super specific symbol that would tell me, okay, this is proof that I created that in my experience. And how often do you see a pink elephant? That was my specific symbol that I practiced bringing in. And man, I can't tell you how many pink elephants I now own. Anytime I've seen them out in the world, if it's something I can purchase, if it's something I can just take a picture of, whatever it is, I get it. I save it. Because that is proof to me that my thoughts, my expectations, my beliefs, my assumptions do matter. And I'm surrounded in the reflection of my own consciousness if I just take a moment to look around. So perhaps come up with a specific symbol that you can use to play this little game with yourself also. I think it will be very eye-opening and inspiring and comforting to know that there's this whole invisible universe that is listening to you, that knows your desires, that knows where you want to get to, that recognizes all of the work that you're doing, and you can communicate with it directly in so many ways. And so let's make this year about, number one, being more gentle with ourselves, number two, having more fun, and number three, being open to magic. Because if there's one thing I've learned about magical moments or magical experiences, is they become so normal for those who believe in it. Like, if you don't believe something is possible, that same reticular activating system will prevent you from seeing the magic that is right under your nose. And the moment you even create a slight openness of, maybe something else could be true, you've opened the door to magic. You'll now start to see it speak to you. Just that little curiosity of, maybe there is more than I thought. Maybe magic can happen in more ways than my little human mind can even fathom. And I promise you that is enough to start seeing some really incredible things in your life. And to weave in dream work to this, because this podcast is going to be a lot more than just dream work. That is going to be one of the foundational tools that we use to plug into a lot of the things that we're exploring and that we're learning, because I truly do believe that dream work can serve so many parts of our lives, so many parts of our evolution that we don't even realize. Okay. And because it's been so long since I have done the past couple episodes, this is basically a brand new podcast, babe. Okay. Right here, right now, we're starting the journey together. And I'm not sure everything I've mentioned about dreaming or lucid dreaming before this point. I know that I shared a little bit about my lucid dreaming healing story and how that completely transformed my life and got me started on the path that I'm on now. But I want you to know that dreaming, it's not just a dream at all. It's a door into this universe that we're talking about. We're so people who are so obsessed with inner work, I want to know my desires, I want to know my fears, I want to know all the unconscious parts of myself that I don't get to see and communicate with during the day. I just want to dive full in. I want to meet my shadow. I want to meet my inner child. People that are super curious about who they are, this experience and what we're meant to do with it. You could get so much from dream work. It is so incredible. One of my favorite things about lucid dreaming in particular, keep in mind that all of the things that we talk about can present themselves in non-lucid dreams, but the conscious interaction with these pieces within the lucid dream is really what makes this work profound and really does speed up the integration with the work we do within dreaming, if that makes sense. One thing I love about lucid dreaming is the ability to meet internal archetypes. If you are someone, what I have had anxiety like my entire life. I've only really started to break the anxiety cycle this past year and a half, I would say. And like really, really diving into that, like making that my focus. And a big part of this was exploring the archetype of my anxiety. Because when you become lucid in a dream, when you know that you are dreaming, you are all of a sudden conscious in this universe that is modeled after your internal world. Like you can meet personified aspects of your own psyche and communicate with them and ask them questions and see their personality and see how they behave. And it's like super, super cool work. It's definitely like very Carl Jung coded as far as the type of work that I do within lucid dreaming. And I've done lots of, I did this year-long masterclass series a couple years ago, where we explored like an archetype in every month of the class. You know, we would do one that was all dedicated to the shadow and exploring the shadow in the waking state, and then how we can explore it within our lucid dreams, and then the inner child, and like successful parts of ourselves that we daydream of and that, you know, that we want to step into. If you look at quantum physics now, all of that already exists. And the proof that it already existed was you were able to tap into that thought. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, which means we can't just come up with ideas. We can't just make things up. We are tapping into something with our consciousness that is already existing in another reality, in another plane of existence. Quantum physics shows us this. And so I love tying that world, the science world, in with the dreaming world that I have explored for so many years and really seeing the connections between the two and how it actually does affect me when I wake up. Like, I cannot tell you how much information I have gotten from my anxiety archetype or my business archetype. Before I even had a business, I was working with this version of myself. For those of you who have been a part of the community for a while, you know that I completely shifted my reality to moving to Washington, which was my ultimate dream. And I spent a lot of my life in lack and anxiety with a ton of physical health issues that made it so I couldn't even work. I, you know, took care of myself with my overdrafted balance every month. Like this was how I was living life for so many years. And dreaming shifted all of that. And being able to explore these archetypes of myself that already existed and being able to learn to shift my consciousness to these different spaces where I can actually bring wisdom back to this reality that I'm in. Like everything is so, so, so connected. And dreaming really showed me that. Like the more that I learned about quantum physics, the more that I learned about neuroscience, the more that I dove into different cultures and spirituality, and like Neville Goddard is something that I'm obsessed with. I'm loving his books. I love all his work, and I love any work that's really related to that. And everything I've been learning, I've been able to tie into dreamwork somehow. It's like the spiritual space that allows us to actually practice the energetics of the things that we're embodying. The dream state is so underrated. And I mean, if you want to know why you're feeling a certain way, or you want to know why you're having a hard time moving on from something particular, like whatever it is, you want to know why you're experiencing a specific pattern in your life, look to your dreams. They tell you so much more than you think. So that's just a little rant, a little blurb on how we're always going to tie in dream work to the things we're talking about, even though this podcast will be, again, to lucidity and beyond. Okay, we're going to be going beyond a lot of the time. But I truly believe dream work is one of the most incredible tools because we all sleep and we all dream. And if we all dream, we can all learn how to dream consciously or use dream states in different ways. You thought there was only non-lucid dreams and lucid dreams? Oh, you're going to be taken on an absolute journey, okay? I'm going to show you throughout this journey some of my favorite ways to practice dream work, some of the interesting dream states I like to access. And I don't know if you guys have heard of liminal dreaming. I'm sure a lot of you have, but that is something that you can practice while awake that acts as a perfect gateway for lucid dreams and out-of-body experiences and everything that we're talking about. So there's going to be more tools than you can even imagine to tie in dream work to all of the stuff that we discuss and learn here, especially to personal growth, inner exploration, spiritual evolution, all of that good stuff. Okay, and let's not forget about just the fun that we can have within dreams and lucid dreams. Like, it doesn't always have to be heavy work, by the way. You can just see what it feels like to be weightless and fly for the first time, which I highly recommend if you've never had a lucid dream where you've taken flight. I don't know how our brain knows exactly what it feels like, but you feel the drop in your belly. You have the bird's eye view from high up. You feel the wind in your ears. It's just so beautiful. Lucid dreaming truly is such an incredible tool to amplify the freedom that we feel inside, like the freedom to be able to defy the laws of physics and explore reality in this way. And the fact that we even are able to shift our consciousness to different places in time and space and have these incredible experiences in these beautiful worlds that we share, that we create on our own. Who knows? There's so much mystery to dreaming in the dream world. I just think it's so interesting that it was a given birthright, that it was a tool that we were given. Why? This is what I'm interested in. Why? What is everything we can use this for? It's so beautiful. And so if you guys have any questions while we're on this journey together, whether you're struggling with something and it's like a dream work related issue, or maybe you're struggling or going through something that isn't dream work related, but you want to know how dream work can tie into it or dream work could support it, let me know. That's why I'm here. Let me know. You can always leave it in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. And I also have on my website's almost done, so we won't have to do Linktree anymore. But my Linktree has a link where you can submit questions and experiences and stuff for the podcast. You can also leave anything on there as well, and I'll be polling questions and experiences and stuff from that little document also. But to get us started on this journey, okay, let's wind it back a little bit. We're gonna title this "Beginning Your Dream Journey," beginning your dreaming journey, and I'm really just gonna help you get started with the simple tools that you need moving forward to really start to deepen your connection with dream work. Again, if you have some of these things, like if you practice some of these things already, that is amazing. But I really want to start with the basics of what is recommended to start working with your dreams more deeply. Now, guys, it really is a lot easier than we think. Seriously. And even when it comes to remembering your dreams, I know people that haven't remembered their dreams for more than half their life. And after doing these practices for a short amount of time, have started to gain their dream recall back and really experience some beautiful, beautiful stuff. So just know wherever you're at, regardless if you've worked with your dreams before this point, it's almost like you becoming open to work with your dreams. Like, it's kind of the same way. It's kind of the same thing we were talking about before with unlocking magical experiences and like abundance in different areas of life. The moment you start getting curious about what is possible, it's almost like it's so eager to show you what's possible, It's like the dream state's like that as well. And again, if we're going to quantum physics, again, it's basically the exact same energy that we were talking about with the universe, eager to show you your potential. It's the exact same thing, but through our subconscious and our dreams. And so just know that making the intention that you want to work with your dreams, or you're open to experiencing what your dreams have to share, is honestly doing more than you think. So first, I would set just an intention to be open to remembering your dreams, to deepening your connection with your dreams, and to experience what your dreams would like to share with you. The next one, okay, now this is unavoidable. I really want you to make sure that you have this, and that is a dream journal, okay? Dream journaling isn't to just write your dreams down. It's actually what helps you start to remember your dreams. That's what's interesting. Um, a lot of people think that they don't need a dream journal because they don't remember their dreams anyways, or they don't need a dream journal because they'll be able to remember all their dreams. Okay, and let me tell you, no, you will not be able to remember all the dreams that you have without a dream journal. Plus that you're going back to them there's so many ways to use your dream journal. Let's just start there. So it goes beyond just like what you remember. But also, even if you're not remembering your dreams, that's actually the best time for you to start a dream journal, because a dream journal is a memory building tool. It's the thing that actually shows your subconscious that dreaming is something that's important to you. It's now a priority, and you want to start remembering what's happening during sleep. So our brain has three main jobs, okay? The three main jobs are to seek pleasure, reduce pain, and to save energy. If it doesn't think you're getting pleasure from a specific activity, if it thinks a specific activity is painful, or it thinks a specific activity is a waste of your energy, based on how you think, act, and feel around it, it is going to do you a favor and not even take the time to recall the dreams to the conscious mind. Because, like, what's the point, right? If it's not helpful to you, if you don't find an interest in it anyways, and it just kind of seems like a waste of time, your your body and every part of it, energetically, physically, it is a machine that is driving to support you in everything that you do. And the way that we can kind of move this machine in a direction that we want it to move in is to start changing how we think about things, like the thoughts that we have about specific things that we want to commit to. And that will eventually change our feelings around it. But the thoughts and the actions around a specific thing is what is going to help us feel differently about it. It's going to help create it into a habit, and we're going to start to feel connected to it. So just know you'll feel like dream journaling later, but the thoughts around dream journaling and just making the little action to commit to reporting what happens every single day is the only work that you really need to do around dream journaling or dream recall. The rest will come to you. So, really, how to start with your dream journal is every single night you are going to fall asleep with an intention. Now, if you're not remembering your dreams right now and that's your main focus, I would make your intention you fall asleep with around remembering dreams. This could be simple, like, tonight I'll remember my dreams. I have excellent dream recall. That's the one I always use. You can switch it up. You can just say, I can't wait to remember my dreams in the morning. I am open to remember my dreams in the morning. Whatever you want to say, whatever feels right to you. I would try to repeat that a few times in your head and fall asleep and just kind of let it go from there. As soon as you wake up, before you even get out of bed, it will take a couple days maybe to get used to. Who knows? As soon as you start dream work, sometimes it's so exciting. It's like all you're thinking about. And so you might think of this the first moment you wake up, which is great. But as soon as you wake up, ask yourself if you remembered anything from sleep. If you remembered dreams, if you woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, if you just remember having a hard time sleeping. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't even matter if it's dream content, actually. It's the action of you attempting to report what happened during sleep that shows your brain it's important to remember what happened during sleep. So your first night, having your first day, with your dream journal, you might not remember any dream recall, and that's totally expected. That's totally normal, and that's totally fine. You're just going to write the date, the time of your entry, and then just write anything you remember. You can even just write, I didn't remember any dreams tonight, or no recall, or I remember going to the restroom in the middle of the night, but that's all I remember. Or you just write down the thing that you remembered stating or intending before you fell asleep. Maybe the last thing you remember is just that intention to remember your dreams. And if that's the last thing you remember, cool, write that down. You have done your work. Just that action. Two things. Just the thought first of, did I remember any dreams? Starts to change the way that your brain is used to waking up. Usually we're used to waking up, just getting out of bed, moving throughout the day. But now it senses there's a new action here, right? you're stopping for a moment before you get out of bed to recall what happened during sleep. And naturally, because you're trying to do this, your brain is going to try to support you in this as well. And that's why the first couple nights, maybe you don't remember anything, but still write down whatever you remember or what you don't remember, right? That's the most important thing, is that your pen touches the journal and you report what happened. And you're going to notice doing this the next couple days, maybe the next week or whatever, you will start to remember little pieces of dreams. And hey, that's perfect. Even if you just write down, I remember having a dream, but I don't remember what happened. That's a perfect entry. That's perfect. Keep with it. Just keep reporting what's coming up as it's coming up every day. And these dreams will start to get longer and more vivid. And eventually, you're remembering full, vivid dreams a night. Several. And then you're starting to become more aware in these dreams. You notice you're talking about dreams and lucid dreams in your dreams with people. And you just notice this shift, this awareness start to build in your dream realm. That truly does start from the dream journal. The dream journal is showing your commitment to dreaming. It shows your desire to connect with yourself as soon as you wake up in the morning, like to connect with that world. And you're taking the time to physically write down anything that you remembered from this experience. This literally shows that it's important to you. Now, there's going to be some questions around this. Should I write in my dream journal every day? Yes, I definitely recommend writing in your dream journal every day. And sometimes, you're not going to have as much time, whatever. I would try to find ways to either simplify your entry or save your little dream entry in like a voice note or something on your phone and put it in later. You can also just put in a couple keywords in your dream journal, the main things that happen in the dream, and fill it in later. However you want to do it, just try to make it as easy as possible for you. Now, another question, do I have to use a dream journal? Like, do I have to use a physical notebook? Can I use my computer? Can I use my phone? And I want to say, whatever helps you stay consistent is the best thing for you to do as far as this goes. I will say though, and you've probably noticed this, that there's times where you will wake up and you're intending to write down your dream, and then you get out of bed and you're like, oh, I'll write it down a little bit or whatever. And then you completely forget. This happens so often. So if you notice this happening, it is recommended that you have your dream journal or whatever you're reporting your dream journal in as close to your bed as possible. And because of technology and blue light with technology, it is possible that it can like overstimulate our brain as soon as we pick up our phone to write our dream down, and it could cause us to get distracted, to lose our dream recall. And so any way works for you to write down your dreams. Of course, there are more like efficient or more helpful ways. For me, I love my physical journal, number one, because it is like a meditation. It also gets you in theta when you are journaling, when you are actually taking the time to write. So that automatically connects you to your dream recall and makes it easier to remember what happened during sleep. Number two, I just love the feeling of writing. It's a very, like I said, feels like a meditative experience for me. Number two, or whatever number we're on, I don't even know. I'm always going back through my dream journal. Like I'm underlining stuff. Because there's clues. Like your dream journal is full of clues, full of the clues and work that you're looking to bring up, full of clues that you were dreaming. Like your subconscious is always trying to help you, and it's always giving you these messages. And we're going to talk about dream decoding and symbolism. We're going to talk about dream signs. We're going to talk about all the different techniques you can use with your dream journal. But it's very, very important that you make it easy to go back through your dream journal entries, because that's where all the clues are. That's where all the messages are. And that kind of helps you figure out where you're at in your dream work practice. Like the last dreams you have are greatly going to help the dreams you haven't had yet. So being able to review, it's kind of like the end of year review that we talked about. Being able to review your dream world, what's showing up in your dream world, the patterns that are showing up, and the clues that are showing up really allow you to infuse the most awareness into your next experiences and really know how to proceed, if that makes sense. Really just allows you to do the work more deeply. I can't imagine a world where someone wants to like really dedicate to dream work and they just write down their dreams and then never look at them again. Like as soon as they turn the page, they never look at the past dreams again. Like I can't, my heart hurts thinking about that because it's just like a dream journal too is just this, it's just this big letter from your subconscious. It's just tons of letters from your subconscious mind. They're so interesting to read through. And even how my handwriting is when I've written a dream down, I can kind of tell the space I was in. And going back to my way earlier dreams from years and years ago and seeing how the dream content changed and transformed year after year, being able to read through a dream journal entry, and because I wrote it down, it literally stores that recall so vividly that when I read through my dream, it takes me back instantly to that dream and I can relive it as many times as I want. I mean, those are a few reasons why I prefer a physical dream journal. Again, I can dive more into this as well, but just know that whatever is helps you stay consistent. So if that is your phone, uh, then you totally can do that. If you do that, just make sure that you do not get distracted when you're about to write because there's so many things on our phone. Our whole entire life's on our phone, and dream recall can just disappear so quickly. And so test it out, see what works best for you. I'd honestly recommend doing that. Honestly, that way you come at this with your own experience and you know how things work for you and how they don't work for you as far as all this goes. But yes, dream journaling, definitely very important. And I also love having just stacks of physical journals. Like I have this whole tote full of my old dream journals. I don't know. It just feels so special to be able to pick it up and read through the same pages that I wrote on when I had my first like out of body experience, you know? I remember it was like 4 something in the morning. I remember it's on this tiny little thin skinny notebook, and I remember how insanely excited I was to write that journal entry. And even in the title of that entry, I put like a million exclamation points because I was so excited. It's just things like that that I feel like the physical journal can capture, just the emotion that I was in, how important the experience seemed to me at the time, and just I don't know, there's something about it that just takes you back to that moment. So, regardless of how you want to write your dreams down, if you can do it consistently, if they start to build, that shows you that whatever you're doing is working. And this dream journal is going to set the the foundation for the dream work tools that we talk about moving forward, because I'm telling you, the dream journal really is the star here. Because I mean that's where all of the experiences live forever anyways, is in those pages, and being able to work with that content and really being able to know your dream world because you've spent so much time there, even in your dream journal, really getting to know the personality and the quirks of your dream world. It helps you get to know yourself and also appreciate yourself for the creative, unique being you are. Dreaming shows us a side of ourselves that we don't acknowledge a lot of the time. And so many people also think that they're not artists. And if you think that, just study your dreams and you'll see what an incredible artist you are, you know? Um, but I really wanted this episode to be focused on revisiting where we've been this past year, what we can kind of commit to releasing or working with more this upcoming year, and to set the tone for our DreamWork practice together, because I've talked about all of this for years in my videos, but they're all very um, just random videos that I create depending on how I feel at the time or what's lighting me up at the time. And what I love about this podcast is it can kind of allow us to check in with each other and follow up with where we were last episode and start to create a really beautiful journey together where we get to discover ourselves, deepen our connection to our dreams, and live the life that we have always imagined and dreamt of. And I just want you to know that when I talk about creating the life of your dreams, it is in all realities. I want to help you understand how to use your given tools, your mind, your consciousness, your energy, your experiences to see the most magical side of yourself that you didn't even know was possible, and to really use these incredible phenomena of consciousness that we can experience, like the dream world and out-of-body experiences and deep meditative states and magical moments somehow finding their way to us. I want to show you how you can use all of that to step into the life that you've always dreamt of. And again, energy can't be created nor destroyed, so if you can feel it, if you can envision it, it's already yours. And we're going to step into that reality together. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Feels like episode 1. It's basically episode 1, but this is just a new a new chapter of our journey together, and I can't wait to go on this little adventure. So I love you guys so much. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you are liking the podcast so far, make sure to rate and review the podcast wherever you listen. And I am doing most of my work on YouTube right now. I actually just released a third YouTube channel called The Dream Realm, which is all guided meditations, hypnosis sessions, helping you dive deep into your consciousness to step into the life of your dreams is really the idea for that channel. So make sure to check that out if that interests you. Of course, check out my sleep music channel, the Lucid Mystic Sleep Music, where I release nightly 11-hour, super dreamy, beautiful ambient music to help you sleep soundly and dream lucidly. And finally, my main channel, the Lucid Mystic, where I post all my educational content or just random adventures that I'm experiencing in life. Okay, so go along on the journey with me, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.